Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and in today's video, we're talking all about some luxury interior design that may not be worth the money, and we are gonna talk about it. The first thing we absolutely have to discuss is one of the biggest statements you can make in your home, but you have to be careful about how you do this, is hardware. Hardware on cabinetry and also hardware on faucets and showers in those wet areas, because there's a big difference between something that is good quality and something that is luxury or just has a luxury price tag on it. Maybe it has a name brand on it that makes it very expensive, but not necessarily worth it. You have to be careful about what you're looking at and what you're getting. And there's a couple of things to remember. I love going to designer sites for hardware in my home, whether it's like even window treatment hardware or door hardware, to see what is out there and what is luxury right now. Like, what are designers creating that's this like high-end look and feel? And then I can take that and kind of look for things that are maybe a little bit more affordable, but something that has some of those more luxury styling details that's a little bit more affordable. The things I'm looking for when it comes to hardware in my home, no matter where it is, whether it's on the doors, whether it's a faucet or cabinetry hardware, I want solid metal and I want a real finish. And what I mean by that is I don't want something that is, you know, like a cheap base metal that's painted to look like something else. Like if I want brass, I'm gonna look for something that's brass. If I want stainless steel, I'm gonna look for something that's stainless steel, not that has like a silver painted finish or a gold painted finish, because it doesn't look like it's real. And what that's going to prevent, if you get something that's a real metal instead of just a painted finish, it's gonna be good quality. The finish isn't gonna rub off and the paint's not gonna come off and scratch easily because it's a real metal, it's a solid material, and it's not going to get damaged. The next expensive design that may not be worth the money is actually designer lighting. I love great lighting. I love great lighting in a home because it really defines a style. Lighting can impact the color scheme, right? We need a lot of soft lighting and beautiful lighting because, unlike me, not everybody looks good in all sorts of lighting. So not every space and every home does. You need to have great lighting, but designer lighting is usually really expensive because it's got a designer name on it. Designers will come out with a lighting collection and it's beautiful and it's got some interesting material or some unique shape and you're like, oh wow, that's great. And then you go look at the price and you're like, it's more than the down payment on my house. Okay, designer lighting is beautiful, but it's not always worth the price tag on it. And I think there's certain things you can look at to get around that, or certain styling cues. The same thing with hardware. Look for alternatives. Etsy is one of my favorite go-to places for lighting because sometimes it's small batch or it'll be custom made. You can customize it. You can pick and choose the finish or the glass color on it. There's a ton of stores out there that offer this option, but they'll take styling cues from really high-end light fixtures to create something that's just more budget-friendly and affordable and accessible for everyone. I also love vintage lighting. You just don't find the same high quality that you do in new design as you do in vintage. So that's always something to look out for. But one of my favorite things to do is shop open box sales. I love an open box sale for lighting, especially because a lot of people will they'll get lighting or it'll be in a showroom. Nobody's touched it. Like, you don't interact with lighting, right? Like the overhead lights in my house, I'm not like turning a knob on them to turn them off. I flip a light switch, I don't touch the light. And then you can buy it at a better deal. So always be sure you're checking the sales section, open box sections, and do a reverse image search on those light fixtures, because sometimes you'll find something that's the exact same fixture. Manufacturers will design something, they produce a catalog, and then they show it to everybody and say, what would you like to buy? And you know, multiple people will buy the same thing, and sometimes it'll be a little bit more, sometimes it'll be a little bit less, but you can save money finding the exact same thing from a different retailer, and that's a top tip to remember. Another top tip to remember is that sometimes you will not be able to answer questions on your own, and you may need a designer to have a look at your home and your space, or just to look at what you're buying to tell you if it's really good quality and worth what they're asking for it. I'm that designer. You could always book a one-on-one interior design consultation with me using the link in the description box down below or going to intro.co/GarrettLeChic. Something else in interior design that is so expensive, and I have yet to understand why it's so much more expensive than like everything else, are counter and bar stools. Anything with the name stool in it is just like so overpriced, it's not even funny, and there's not a real reason. Like, you could find a furniture store you like and find a dining chair you like, and it'll be a reasonable price, but then the matching bar stool will be obnoxiously like expensive. It makes no sense why the pricing is that way. We need something that's gonna be good quality, it's gonna be good design, or we're looking for multiples of something. If we're shopping on a budget, I will actually look for a table set. You know, go on to Amazon, go onto the Wayfairs and look for a dining table set that is either a counter height or a bar height, and then I don't have to use the table. I can donate the table, I could sell the table, I could recycle the table, and just keep the actual stools that come with it for a kitchen. Or there's also a conversation to be had around consignment or vintage. Bar stools, like, they come and go out of fashion. Like, chair styling is pretty specific, and so sometimes you find something that matches your style in its shape, and then you go and have it reupholstered. And that's always something worth thinking about. But just remember that there are alternatives out there, and sometimes you might buy a set and then just not keep the table that comes with that set to get bar and counters. Oh, I don't really like bar stools. If you have a bar, consider dropping the height of it to be a counter, because that's normal, but that's beside the point. But you can find budget-friendly counter and bar stools by shopping dining sets instead of individual items. The next expensive design item or element that may not be worth it for you is marble. And the only reason this is on the list is because of the cost of marble and the durability of marble and the popularity of it. Marble's not for everyone, and that's okay. Personally, I love it. You could not convince me otherwise. Like, what else could I put in my kitchen besides marble? It's me. Of course I need the best, but you know, that isn't for everyone, because it just depends on how you live in a space. And sometimes it's not even about the price point or the quality or the durability of it. It's just about, you know, that's not what you like and you want something different. Maybe that's not your style, and that's okay. You can find a lot of alternatives out there in other natural stones, in synthetic or man-made materials that are just as good, if not more durable, than marble itself is. Some of those options are things like quartzite, which is very on trend, dolomite, soapstone. There are some really gorgeous, underrated granites out there. Yes, granite. You can find some amazing granite for your home that feels very modern and very fresh and very new, and you know, it can be really interesting, and a lot of people won't even know what it is or what material it is, and it's something that's very elevated and beautiful. That's something to think about too. Quartz is fine, it's a good option. There's lots of variations in that because it's man-made. Also, there's other things you can look at. You could do really elevated versions of butcher block countertops. You can do a really elevated laminate if you're on a little bit more of a budget. Corian can be good too. There's so many options out there that you shouldn't limit yourself just because marble is on trend. Now, marble is on trend for a good reason, and that's because of the space and the veins and the lines in it and the colors it comes in. So those are good things to look out for when you are shopping for stone. My number one tip when you are shopping for stone is go to a stone yard. Go to a couple of them. First of all, it's just fun. Honestly, if you're bored one day, go get you a coffee, go to the stone yard and have a walk around, because it is so much fun. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. It's like a stone yard to me is better than a museum. It is a museum. It's a natural history museum, and I love that. Stone is beautiful. It's just beautiful, and to see it in person is great. Go to a stone yard, but you might see something in that stone yard that you really love, that you just like, you're like, whoa, I never thought of that. It was not on my radar, and it completely changes your perspective on the design and what's happening. Marble is just not worth the money for everyone in every home. For some people, like me, it definitely is, and it's my top choice, but it's not for everyone. Luxury, and that luxury price point, a lot of people associate with durability or quality. And while quality, yes, but durability is not always the number one factor when it comes to that. Some things are more delicate. Silk is more delicate than polyester. So it's not always for everyone in every home. And you know, silk is more delicate than like a mohair even. So there's plenty of options out there, but just because it's marble doesn't mean it's gonna be the most durable thing in everyone's home. Just because something is brass doesn't mean it's gonna be the best thing, because they require maintenance and care and looking after. And if you're not prepared to babysit some of the materials in your home, that's not not something you should choose. And I am always going to be looking out for you like that, which is why when we post 2 videos every week, you're always gonna get the most relevant information in them. So if you haven't already, join us. Hit that subscribe button. Take a moment. Become a part of our LeChic family for realistic design advice that you can actually use in your home and will elevate it to be beautiful, but also livable. Join us and give this video a like. I would greatly appreciate it if you shared this video with a friend. Maybe they're looking at some of these luxury materials and they don't realize that they could find it somewhere better for less, or it's not the right thing for them. This is Arden, and he wanted to come and say hello. Actually, he just wanted to sit in my lap to look at the person that's standing outside of my window, probably watching us film this video thinking we're weird, but you know what? What was that? Oh, he said I am weird. Okay, well, that was rude. See if you get dinner tonight. No, you're so cute, you're so pretty. You're so pretty, look at everybody. Look at all of them. Look at everybody at home. Come on, come on. He says, I don't know who I'm looking at because ain't nobody there. His dad's behind the camera though. That's cute. Oh, you're so handsome. You're so handsome. Are you the mascot of the channel? He said, I think Cornelius is, but Cornelius is in bed. So, okay, well, I'm gonna let you lay here and you can be a part of the video or not. The choice is yours, but you're beautiful either way. I think he's chosen not, and that's fine. The next thing we have to talk about that may not be worth the money, and you have to be the judge of it, is what I would call designer decor. So sometimes you just can't find the things you want or you like or that you think would be perfect for your clients. So a lot of designers will produce their own decor line or furniture line or lighting line, all of these things. And they're great for those designers because they have the ability to craft and make those exact items. And if, you know, somebody sees the post they make on social media and says like, where'd you get that from? They can say, it's from my line, that's great. And hey, hopefully I'll be doing that one day too. But a lot of times they're small batch manufactured, which means that there's not a lot of it produced. That raises the cost of things, makes them more expensive, and sometimes it's just not worth it. Now, obviously, if I put out a line of home decor, it'll be very much like, oh, a new wave. It'll be affordable, but great quality, high-end design, accessible to everyone. That's my brand, but that's beside the point. A lot of luxury designers will have their own lines, and they're not always the most affordable. And sometimes it's basic things, or it's things that like, there's no reason for them to be priced at that level because it's kind of like, hey, you know, this is on brand for me, like buy it and you'll get it in your house. And it's like, but what was the point? It's like mass produced anyway. And there's a ton of examples I could use, but without naming names or, you know, sharing all of that, I personally don't think you have to shop designer home decor lines. Sometimes it's nice, and sometimes they have like a one-off piece that's really great that you could not find anywhere else, or honestly, it can't be replicated for less. That's a good piece to splurge and treat yourself to. But I'm not offended by getting a little bit of home decor at a Home Goods, okay? Or a TJ Maxx, or, you know, a department store, whatever. You know, like there's plenty of places you can get it from. I think it's all about layering in maybe some pieces that are a little more generic with some pieces that are more personal or luxury to you. I love vintage. I love to layer old and new together for a curated feel, and I think you absolutely should be doing the same. Don't overspend on decor. Get stuff that is affordable and vintage and personal or collectible to you, things that you really enjoy, and you'll have a space that feels curated and personal without feeling generic or like it was overpriced. Another thing that I just don't think is worth spending money on in your home, or spending a lot of, that has to be expensive, are designer plants. Designer plants, you're probably like, who designed the plants? Like, give us more about this. What are you even talking about? I mean these like rare one-off specimen plants that you see people talk about all the time on social media, and it's like, designer plants everyone should have, plants designers love. I don't personally care about plants or what plant you bring into your home. Like, I'm glad you have them. I'm glad you can take care of them. They're great, okay? But you have to find something that will actually thrive in your home and that will fit whatever you want to have in there. It's not just about like, this is a rare form of some, you know, tree thing in the corner. Like, I don't know what that plant is, you know, and most people don't either. People that love plants are like people that love animals. They don't throw away their plant. They rehome it. So you can always get a plant that needs to be rehomed and give it a loving home. Go on to Facebook Marketplace and see what is there. Contact people that, join a plant loving community. And if somebody moves and can't take a plant with them, they're often looking for somebody that will actually take care of it. And you can get something that is way larger than you would find in a nursery, that is way more affordable than you would find in a nursery. And sometimes you won't even have to pay for them just because that person is genuinely looking for someone that will care for that plant. But I see all of the time people are like, I spent $800 on plants. I spent $1,000 on this tree. And it's like, no, you don't have to. You can absolutely go save a plant from a nursery or, rehome a plant, get it from someone that can't take care of it, and get something that's way more affordable but still gets that same look. And also don't buy into the trendy trees, right? Like it was like fig trees and then it was olive trees and all of this stuff. And it's like, well, what happens to the tree when it's not on trend? What are people doing with it? Okay, get something that you like, that fits your space, that you can take care of, that you can breathe new life into because you're a plant mother, and I love that for you, but you don't have to spend a ton of money on a plant for your home. Now here is the big takeaway in this video, the one you have to hear about, that is designer rugs. You do not have to buy an expensive designer rug to get that same look in your home. And you also do not have to compromise on the quality of that rug. I had a client who felt very strongly about one rug. We discussed furniture layouts and ideas and things, and she was like, I really love this rug, but how do I justify spending $6,000 on this rug? And I looked at the rug and I was like, listen, it's a great rug. It's beautiful. The quality of it is wonderful. It's great, but let's look this up. And I did a reverse image search on the rug and I found it for like a third of the price in a larger size. Because a lot of retailers buy their rugs from distributors who are also selling them to other places who price them way lower. Or you can also sometimes just have something custom made in a similar pattern or colors or something in a custom size. Go on Etsy, find some rugs, filter them, just type in the size rug you want and some colors in it or something, reverse image search, take a screenshot, you can upload it straight online and look where that thing came from. For anything, it's not just about a rug, but you don't have to spend a ton of money on a rug from a big retailer or from a designer brand. Usually the rugs are parading as something else, and sometimes it's like, this great rug is beautiful, it's all wool. Is it tufted or is it knotted though? Where was the rug made though? Because are you tripling the price of that rug to sell it to me, or is it a vintage rug? What is happening here? And you can find out a lot of this stuff by just doing a little bit of research and seeing if something is actually worth the money they're asking for it. And I'm not saying that there's no rug out there that's worth $6,000, because there absolutely are. But you need to make sure that what you're getting is worth what you're paying for it. At the end of the day, you're gonna do what's right for you. I have clients that they just have dogs that are gonna tear up the rug, it's not gonna last, so it doesn't matter if it's wool or not, it's not gonna last. So they're not gonna spend a ton of money on it for something that just is not going to make it. There are choices for everybody, you just have to make the right one for you, but you have to be smart about it and look at where you're getting those rugs from and the price points they're at. I wouldn't spend a ton of money on a rug that I don't know all of the specifications on, where it's made, who made it, what material it's made with, what manufacturing method it's made with. All of these things are out there. Just takes a little bit of research and you'll find something that's a really good value for money, but you don't have to get a name branded designer rug from a big retail store, because usually you overpay for them. Now that we talked about some expensive interior design items or details that are not necessarily worth it for everyone, let's talk about some of the design mistakes that the average person makes in their very normal home. Be sure you check out this video right over here to learn all about them, and I will see you over there. And by the way, thanks for watching.